welcome to a Cincy fan talking with LP. And of course, it's your boy. He's back. LP. What up? What up? What up? What up? Freak out, freak out. Go. Alright. I hear the chair. Appreciate it. What's going on, y'all? Back, back like I never left. Back. And to be real, it's just another bout of laziness. I wouldn't even really call it laziness, y'all. It's more of those things where I'm just trying to get to the end of the school year at this point. And I'm trying to do it in a way where I'm not just trying to get through it. I'm trying to actually, educate kids. Because, we all feel in summer. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. The ups and downs, the highs and the lows of all that. Got a whole lot to get to, y'all. A whole lot to get to and run through. So bear with me. This might go a little bit longer than how your boy would normally do. Because I just got a lot to talk about. I got draft stuff. And if you know me, I'm not about to break down every single draft pick and all that. Like, that's not what we do. We're going to talk a little bit about the draft. We're going to talk about this Shedeur Sanders stuff that's going on. We're going to talk transfer portal, how I feel about it. Got some complaints to get off my chest. I got some old man stuff to talk about. We're going to call it a get off my lawn rant. I got one of those coming up. And, of course, I got the stuff that I saw on YouTube. I guess you can say it's something you can watch. If you're a teacher, you should watch this. And then I got some stuff that you should avoid that's on YouTube. So, like I said, I get all types of stuff. Like, the algorithm for me is absolutely insane. I don't know what they be on. I don't know what they think I'm on. So, hey, let's jump into it. So, the NFL draft was, for me, I guess I'm a little bit different than most NFL fans. For me, the draft is always boring. It makes me laugh when you see like the fan base of the team. They pan to them when the pick comes up, and it's some guy from Princeton that they chose, or some guy from Occidental College, or Slippery Rock State, or East West Texas Tech U, and they go like, yeah, woo! You don't know the person that they chose. I know everybody do their little mock drafts. I dabbled in that a few years ago. It was kind of fun, just pulling people and seeing, who I could pick and seeing my draft grade or whatever. I admit, because I'm a nerd, that stuff intrigued me. But for the most part, nobody knows what's going to happen with these guys. Nobody knows. You got Tom Brady drafted in the 6th round. GOAT, greatest of all time. You got Jamarcus Russell and Ryan Leaf first in their class. Everybody knew they was going to be stars. No. This is all hit or miss. You're all playing the lottery. We all shaking the dice, rolling them, hoping it comes up, 7 or 11. That's what we hoping for. That's your draft in a nutshell. And the key of it is to get as many picks as you can. You want as many shots in the lottery as you can possibly get. That's the goal. If it's me, I'm trying to get 10, 11, 12 picks every year. Because the more picks you get, the more likely it is you'll hit on 4 or 5 of them. Because it's really just a shell game. I mean, everybody has every now and again you have somebody that you know is about to be a beast. You knew Joe Burrow was going to shine wherever he went to. You knew Peyton Manning was going to shine wherever he went to. You knew that. There's certain people you got to feel about. But that doesn't happen every year. And if it does happen, it's going to happen for like 1 or 2 teams. And then that team has to put them in the right spots. You got to draft the right people around them, blah, blah, blah. It's a crapshoot. It really is. My thing is this. And I'm just keeping it a buck with y'all. Y'all know how I do. Who is about to stand out there amongst 150,000 people to watch people get drafted that you never heard of in your ever loving life. Who does that? Like, I do not understand the appeal of going to watch a draft live. I I don't get it. The NFL, they got some marketing geniuses. When I was a kid, I remember the NFL draft being done usually like one day, maybe two. You got a whole lot of execs in their rooms, and you have Mel Kiper Jr. and his buddies, standing around doing a commentary thing. And it was always in New York City. And then you got a group of diehards in the audience cheering, even though nobody knows what we're talking about. That was the NFL draft. It wasn't really a big deal. How do we get to this? Do we really care about football so much that we're willing to crowd in an open area of whatever northern city that can't host a Super Bowl because we miss football? I don't get it. I hope the draft never comes to Cincinnati. For real. I don't get the intrigue. I don't. And if it does come to Cincinnati, hey, now I'm putting this on whatever. You will not catch me there. I'm not doing reporting there. I'm not going down to the interactive booth. None of that. Because for me, who cares? Draft them. Let's see what they can do. Miss me with that. I'm telling y'all, the NFL, they some geniuses, man. They got us caring about an NFL draft where they pick players that nobody knows about. They got us caring about a schedule release where you literally know every single team that your team is going to play against next year. You can Google it right now. The only thing you don't know is when they're going to play. All 17 teams are already listed. And to make it even more crazy, we know 14 of the teams are going to play next year already set up. And the year after that, like the math is already math for you. I don't know. Like, I'm not saying this as an NFL hater. It's more, I'm just a logical type of person. And logically speaking, you can see your team's NFL schedule at 8 o'clock on the day it's supposed to come out, instead of watching 3 hours of NFL Network where they go through the entire schedule and go like, so-and-so got the easiest schedule. So-and-so got the hardest schedule. Because they're all 0-0. What are you talking about? I don't know. And if I sound passionate, it's because, I don't know, man. Like, I don't like to be hustled. And that's going to bring me into what I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But I can't knock the hustle, but I don't like the hustle. Speaking of hustles, hey, Shedeur Sanders, how do I put this? Like how do I put this in a way that I'm not worried about how I'm saying it. I just want to make sure I'm conveying how I feel about it. I think I got it. Shedeur Sanders played himself just a little bit. Just a little. Not a lot. Just a little bit. Now, there's two sides of the coin. Both sides are true. In my mind, both sides are true. Shedeur Sanders overplayed his hand. His crew overplayed his hand. He was shining at Jackson State. He did his thing, but the competition wasn't really up to snuff. Now, that alone can't really hurt you because we've had people play in the NFL that have been from North Dakota State. They've played at Mississippi Valley State. We've had people shine from every corner of the world. That's not really the disqualifier. The disqualifier, for the most part, is that Shedeur Sanders didn't really shine to a large extent in college. He did his thing. He definitely did his thing. But I wouldn't call him one of the best 5 or 10 quarterbacks in college football. I wouldn't do that. If we saying top 20, I say definitely. So for me, I'm wondering how you think he's gonna get drafted in the first round. That's me personally. Or even the second round. That's kind of like maybe. So the first day he didn't get drafted, I wasn't really surprised. I'm like, I didn't really think he was all that to begin with. I thought he was good, but not great. When he didn't get drafted by day two, I'm like, come on, the fix is in. And that's where the other side of the coin comes in. Because you had Shador Sanders being called cocky, overconfident, arrogant, this, that, and the third. And I'm just keeping it a buck, y'all. All of these are dog whistles that get used against black athletes and black people on a regular basis. It really is. I'm not trying to be that guy that's bringing up race. For the most part, I don't really do that. But we got to call a turkey, though. Like we really do. Because you've had all types of athletes that play other positions or even quarterbacks. They get called gunslingers with a gunslinger mentality. That's the code for most quarterbacks. But for black quarterbacks, they're called arrogant. They're called cocky. Like, it's the equivalent of me in the professional realm being told at work, at school, I speak well. I'm so calm. I have a calming personality. You seem to be able to talk well with your students. They seem to understand you. You get where they come from. All of this is code for, hey, you can talk to black people pretty good. And I was surprised that you can speak so well. That's what that stuff is. Like, it's those backhanded compliments that we as black people get all the freaking time. And it sucks. Like, it really does. Like, man, just say what you got to say. You're not talking to these other people like that. Why are you talking to me this way? Like, we don't like that. So to see Shador Sanders get treated like that, to have his skill set used against him in this manner, it sucked to see. There's no way Shador Sanders is a 5th round pick. Like, let's be for real. Dylan Gabriel, and I can't hate on this man because he did his thing in college too. But he has all those markings of a backup QB. Like all the markings of a Stetson Bennett type of fella. One of them did his thing in college, got a couple rings or whatever. Can lead your team if somebody gets hurt. Dylan Gabriel got all those markings. He got picked before Shador Sanders. I'm looking like, really? They had a dude that played for Louisville. He's like all of 25. He got drafted before Shador Sanders. And for me, it's not a knock against these people. It's more like you saw the skill set with this guy. And to hold these extracurriculars against him is just wow. To hold who his father is against him is wow. Like, that's crazy to me. But I heard somebody on ESPN say it well. He said the draft has spoken. That's accurate as hell. It really is. Because life be lifing sometimes. That's how it be. And we can sit up here and be like, oh, he should have got picked here. He should have got picked there. That ain't right. Life is, though. So wherever he got picked, that's where he got picked. And he got to play his hand. That's where the whole sports mentality comes in. Whatever happened, happened. And you got to deal with it. He doesn't look like the type that's about to sit here and piss and moan and be like, well, they did me wrong. He looks like the type that's going to be like, okay, I'm going to show you what I can really do. And I recommend that's what he does. Because you really can't do anything about that in life. And let me tell you, in a great way and in a very sad way, like, I know this firsthand. There's so many things that happen in life that you can't do much about. Like, you really can't. And you can let that anger consume you. You can let it just burn a hole in your heart to the point where you can't move. And sometimes that's where you are. But at some point, you got to pick yourself up and you got to live this life, because you got people counting on you. You got people depending on you. You got people like you got put on your ass by life. And you got to pick up and you got to keep moving, because really there's nothing else you can do. And I feel like that's what Shador Sanders is now. He got picked in the 5th round. He going to Cleveland. Sorry. Shout out to all my Cleveland folks. Shout out to Pops up there. Shout out to my uncles and my half brothers and sisters and cousins. I got like a big conglomerate on the east side of Cleveland. Like for real. Not East Cleveland. I know the difference. I've been up there enough to know. You got East Cleveland, that's a whole city. And you got the east side of Cleveland. And I got them all on Huff and Superior, St. Clair up there next to Glenville. I see y'all. Hey, it's the factory of sadness up there, man. Like, dude, what y'all doing with the QBs, man? Hey, you know what? We'll get to that another time. But like I was saying, he got did dirty, but at the same time, he kind of overplayed his hand a little bit. And in the middle is where he met, fifth round. I'm not even about to get into the whole prank caller thing, man. I'm really not. I kind of want to, but at the same time, like, it's just going to make me upset. Some entitled 21-year-old guy decided that he wanted to go ahead and start prank calling people. That's really it. I will say one thing about it, though. His pops should get a severe reprimand. He should have to pay a fine. He should have to donate some money to Sanders' favorite charity. He should have to do all that. Don't make that man lose his job because of what his kid did. It's not right. There's certain punishments he deserves. There's certain protocols he needs to follow from now on. But for him to take the fall for something he had no clue about, it just don't seem right. Not to me anyway. And Sanders showed a lot of grace to this whole thing too. But look at that. We calling him cocky and arrogant and all that. Look at all the grace he's showing through this. He's like, you know what? Players mess up. Let's not let that happen again. He keeps it moving. I hope Sanders does well. I hope he does. I hope he has a good career. I hope he loses to the Bengals 2 times a year. All that. So good on him for getting drafted because a lot of people don't get drafted. It's a lot of spots. A lot of free agents out there wishing they could have had that same luck, and they didn't. So good on him. Speaking of college, didn't really get to talk to y'all during March Madness. I thought it was a snooze fest for real. The final couple games were great, but this is what I was worried about when it came to March Madness, when it comes to the college football playoff. Honestly, I see it happening in women's hoops a lot too, for real. And I'm really worried about it with women's hoops because we get those great storylines through women's hoops because the girls, they stay longer than the guys do. So you really get to know those players like Flajay Johnson, Paige Beckers, AZ Fudd. You really get to know their stories. You get to see them going through the ups and downs and all that. And it's really cool. That's what college basketball used to be like when I was growing up. Like, you got to see a UNLV squad in 87, 88 kind of like hit their head against like the upper echelon of like making it big, and then see Larry Johnson, Anderson Hunt, and the boys break through and become household names to the point where Tupac wearing they hoodies, the UNLV hoodies on rap videos and all that. Like, they became that big, and they was a mid-major, but they got their players to stay. They weren't transferring because if you transferred back then, you had to sit a year. You couldn't play for a year. You could practice with the team, but you couldn't play. And a lot of people was like, you know what? I'm not about to go through that. I'm not about to leave, not play for a year. Like, I'm getting rusty. I want a ball. I want people to see me. So that was kind of like that check. And we lost that check. With women's hoops, the great thing they got going for them are the stories. We get invested with those stories. I mean, Paige Beckers and AZ Fudd went through hell and back, tearing Achilles, tearing ACLs, getting back in the game and getting that title. Nowadays, it's like somebody start over you for point guard, cool, I'm leaving. And then if I don't like the coach there, boom, I'm leaving again. You got players, men's and women's sports, leaving like 3, 4 times. How am I supposed to keep up with the Buckeyes when I have no clue who's on your team? There's a school, I think it's Baylor. They lost every single basketball player on the men's team through either transfers or graduation. Every team, every player, I mean. If I'm a Baylor fan, I'm looking like, I can't say the Tommy Davidson thing like I want to, but who are these guys? Who are these guys wearing Baylor jerseys? Um, Xavier, Sean Miller just left Xavier here in Cincinnati again. And then Richard Pitino comes through. Rick Pitino's little boy comes through. Now Xavier got like a whole new team because everybody that was under Sean Miller, they left. They're like, we don't want to hoop here. We don't know, dude. And I understand that. I've always been the advocate of players being able to have close to the same rights as the coaches. Because coaches will sign a 6-year deal, then head to greener pastures a year later. Bow out that little contract, get paid a whole lot more, boom. And then leave the players in the wake like, I thought you were staying here for 4 years, coach. What am I supposed to do? So for me, I think it's empowering for the players to be able to have that luxury of being able to leave. However, you got players leaving 3, 4 times. There's some players in football and basketball, men's and women's, more so men's than women's, who've been on 4 teams in 4 years. Really? How does that help? Let's say, for argument's sake, that we in this for educational purposes. How in the world are you supposed to get a degree if you change 4 schools in 4 years? How are you ever going to graduate? That's crazy. And then, never mind the fact you have to play sports. You got to learn different schemes, different formats, different players, different arenas. It's wild. I love the transfer portal. I hate the transfer portal. And what's going to happen is these small, and you already see it happening, y'all. You already see it. These small group of 5 schools, these small mid-majors start getting talent. And then as soon as that talent kind of like manifests itself, boom, they off to a P4 school. That's what's happening. These smaller schools cannot hold on to their players like they used to. And that's what messed up March Madness for me. You know how you always had like those first round upsets? You had that Cinderella squad making it to the Elite Eight, you know, all that good stuff. Not this year. And when I was really looking at it, I'm looking at all of these mid-major stars shining on high major schools, high major teams. That's what's happening now. These smaller schools become breeding grounds to get players experience. Then boom, they move to Florida. Boom, they move to Ohio State. Boom, they move to Georgetown. It's going to mess up the game for basketball. It's going to screw up the game for football. We got all these open spots for the CFP. It's just going to get taken up with high major schools because they're going to have access to all of the players. It's the Wild West out here, man. Like, they're about to give out more scholarships. You got money flowing. You're treating these kids like professionals now, which I talked about before is absolutely a mess. There has to be some rules and regulations to this transfer portal, y'all. Me personally, I think it should be like this because I don't ever like to bring up problems and not have solutions. Like that's bad for business. You can't just sit up here and complain about stuff, y'all. You got to be solution minded too, solution oriented. So here's my proposal. Here's what I say. All players should get a transfer for free. You get one for free. If you transfer again, you got to sit out a year. So any more than one transfer, you got to sit out a year. That would be my fix. So if a player wants to transfer twice, you most certainly can. We will not stop you. However, if you're a junior and you transferring again, you got to sit out a year. Try to get a red shirt or something like that because You can't play if you transfer twice. You have to sit a year before you play again. Well, dang, LP, if you do that, nobody's going to transfer. Bingo, amigo. That's the point. Because for me, it's about teaching kids that you got to commit to something. And personally, I think it should be the same for coaches too. Because I feel like just like with the players, coaches, you got to commit to something. So I say for the coaches, if you leave a school before, let me make sure I say this right. You have to stay at a school for 4 years. You have to be able to see the freshman that you came in with graduate. If you leave a school before then, you have to wait a year before you can coach again. At least this way, you got coaches staying 4 years. I would like for them to see one class get older, get better, and leave the school before they can say, hey, you know what? I'm out of here. It would be so cool, too, for these mid-major coaches because it'll force them to stay instead of them just leaving off at the first sign of an extra buck at like a high major school. I mean, that's just what I think. It's just frustrating to see all of this talent leave and go somewhere else. And then you're looking like, what are the storylines for next year? Who am I following for next year? I have no clue. Who plays for Kansas? I don't know these jokers. Who plays for Villanova? I don't know. Never seen them before. I mean, it's just kind of frustrating to see a sport that you like so much, college football, college basketball, just get utterly destroyed by the transfer portal. NIL, I mean, I feel like NIL is something that's been happening on the low for decades. I mean, these boys been getting money for the longest. So I don't really see a difference in that. It's just on the up and up now. I don't know, man. I just think a whole lot of this, I mean, people just don't really care about the kids that much. It's, as a teacher, it's frustrating to see. I mean, you're supposed to be a student athlete, but that's out the window. So let's move on. So let me go ahead and put on my smoking jacket real quick. What do old people do? What do old people wear? I don't know, what, a cravat? Like, I need to get in my old man zone for these next couple of things because I got some stuff to get off my chest. So let me get off my lawn sign and go ahead and stick it up here real quick. Let me go ahead and plant that there like that. What else I need? Let me get like a huge cigar that I'm not gonna smoke. Okay, grab that. What else? Let me get like a tall beer. Yeah, let me grab a tall beer and sit it next to me too. Just all the symptoms of me being super old and cranky and complaining, because that's what I'm on for the next few minutes. All right, I got two of them. I said the first one before, but now I'm 10 toes down, y'all. Like I'm 10 toes down on this. Now, hear me out before you go off. All right. I'm done tipping people. I'm through. It's, hey, if you out there, you in the service industry, now, let me preface this. I'm tipping you in certain situations, but gone are the days of me just blindly tipping people. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it because it seems like the more I tip, the worse my service is. Now, eating in a restaurant, you have no worries. You getting tipped. Even if the service is bad, I'm going to give you a little bit because you out here busting your hump for very little money. So you're going to get your paper from me, okay? Just, you don't even have to do much. You don't have to be like on skates. Like, you got anything? You need anything else? You don't even have to do that. All you got to do is your job. I'm going to tip you well. I got you, okay? Shout out to my barber. You have nothing to worry about, sir. We go back like 4 flats. Like, we go back like spinal cords and car seats. I got you, all right? Never worry about that, sir. I got you, all right? My beef are these people that I never even heard about tipping until the pandemic. Everybody got their hand out. And at first it was cool because we was all down better on our last. So it was like, look, You need dough. It's hard for you to get dough because nobody's coming here. So I normally don't tip you carry out person who I'm coming to get my food from, and all you have to do is cook it and put it in a bag and slide it across the counter. I don't normally tip for that. But you know what? Desperate times. You need your dough. Nobody's really coming in here. Let me slide you a little extra something. Now that's become the norm. But I don't appreciate tipping people blindly. Like I'm setting up my order on my phone, I'm putting in the tip, and I'm like, I have to tip you before I get my food? Why? And of course, I go to one of these lovely institutions up north. And I'm not gonna say the name because I'm about to throw shade. So we give them the tip, and me and the wife we going back and forth. I'm like, don't tip them. She like, you gotta tip them. I'm like, I'm wasting my gas. I'm the one driving up there to get the stuff. Why I gotta tip them? They're not even coming to my car. I'm getting out of my car, walking into the establishment, grabbing the food, getting out. Why we gotta tip them? Because they're gonna mess up the order if you don't tip them. I'm like, you probably right. So we tip them, we give them their tip. I go in, get the order, get to the car. I'm looking and I think everything in the bag. So I drive all the way home. We start taking the stuff out. Man, they forgot like 3, 4 items. I'm like, dude, I gotta drive all the way back up here. And I tipped them. What was the point of tipping them if they were gonna mess up the order anyway? In a 14-day span, this probably happened 3 times. And I'm like, you're not just gonna keep biting me, Snake. You're not gonna keep biting me. So now that's what I'm on. You cannot get a tip from me if all you do is what you do. It just don't seem fair. And I'm not tipping blindly anymore. Like if I'm in an Uber, they get the tip afterwards, right? They don't get the tip before. That's crazy. They need to set up options so I could tip you after. Again, I am not anti-tip. But I know in other countries, they don't do this. They actually pay people for what they do. So I don't have to do a math problem at the end of the event. Like it's crazy. The point blank. You out there, just get the orders right. Just get them right. And we and we all make mistakes. I get that. That's why they put erasers on pencils. But come on, man. Just be accurate most of the time. It's just frustrating. So I get my little bit of food. Me and the kid. We about to set up and play our game. We about to go ahead and play some Street Fighter. That's what we do. Taught my sixth grader how to play during the pandemic, back when nobody had anything to do. Taught her how to play a little bit. She got good. Then she got very good. Now there's battles all the time. Now, I've been playing Street Fighter since I was 12, 13 years old. So I win 95% of these. But it's kind of like you playing your son at basketball. The more you play, the better he get. And you get to the point where you're like, dang, I got to actually put in effort now. It didn't used to be like that. That's how it is playing her in Street Fighter now. At first, I wouldn't even think about blocking. I just terrorized her, pink, 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 pink. She could barely win a round. Now it's I got to actually put forth a strategy when I'm playing her. I got to real life think about stuff hey, if I jump, she going to mess around and catch me because she waiting for me to jump. I realize I'm actually thinking about what to do next. And that's when I was oh, I'm getting scared. She beat me a couple times and she let the entire house know. Everybody went up, oh my God, you lost. I'm come on, man. Even the champ lose every now and again. So now, I can't let her win. I got to, bloody her up. It's not a game out here. And we sitting up here and we looking for new players to play. Because we're to the point now where we're you can't use your best player. I can't use my best player. You got to win for real. And we looking like, I can't pick this player. I can't pick this player either. I paid like $60 for the game. The game had like this little pass or whatever where you could get some characters free. Y'all know that they charging more money to open up more characters. So wait a minute. I'm like, hold on, hold tight. You telling me I bought this game and I got to keep paying for stuff in the game? What in the what? That's where we at now? I buy a video game and I got to keep paying for the video game I have? This is this is crazy to me. Um Microtransactions is what they call them. Microtransactions. It don't seem little to me. They want me to pay another 25 to open up these players. And then you can see on the bottom of the screen like six more characters you can't even access yet. So guess what's gonna happen then? I gotta pay for those. So all told, they gonna end up bleeding me dry for like $200 for a game I paid 60 for. That's what's gonna end up happening. What the bleep is this? I know I sound like an old man, but let's keep it a buck. You bought a video game and that whole game was yours. They opened up everything on the video game. There were no surprises. Now they got me paying more. Come on. Whew. Man, things ain't the same. And I know I sound like an old fart when I say that, but you think it's right for you to buy a game, but you didn't buy the whole game? What's next? I buy a pair of pants and I only get them up to the knees, and I gotta wait 3 months to get the rest of the pants? That's where we at? So I'm gonna buy a hat, but the hat don't come with a bill. I gotta wait 3 months to get the bill of the hat. That's where we at. So I'm gonna buy a car. I got four wheels but no steering wheel. So I gotta use like a hanger and stick it in there until they open up the wheel 3 months from now. That's where we at. That's what we doing. If I sound old, I just gotta sound old, man. This ain't right. Like, video gamers, we need to like rise up as the people against this. And I know what messed up the game. I think it's like games like Fortnite and stuff like that. But you know what? What Fortnite did was slick. You get the game for free. You download the game for free. And then you can pay for the other stuff that you want. If they do that, I'm game. I'm in for that. Give me the game for like $15, $20. Let me upgrade what I want. But nah, man, you game people are greedy. Y'all want the whole WAP and then more of the WAP. It's not cool. So I don't know. I can't stop playing video games. Like, man, I've been down since my mama was beating me in Pac-Man. Like, so it's like I can't stop playing, but I can't play these sports games no more because they just basically run the same game every single year and got you paying like 50. Man, I know people paid $149.99 for 2K. And then they had to pay for some more stuff in the game. Hey, when GTA 6 come out, y'all might as well hold y'all nose because they gonna look. Hey, they still charging people for GTA 5. Like, that game been out for like eons and people still paying money to buy stuff in that. Let me move on, man. I feel my old man blood pressure rising, man. I feel it going to like 160 over 112 or something crazy. Let me get off this topic, man. Whew. Man, look. I got more off my lawn rants, but we gonna save those because I already hear some of my people's laughing at me. Like, man, when you get old, I don't know. Hey, so before we roll out, to all my teachers out there, I'm back on watching classroom crash out videos. They just kind of popped up again, and it was some more I hadn't seen. And these aren't the students crashing out. These are the teachers just absolutely losing their ate sugar honey iced tea. Like they just losing it on these kids. Now, to be fair, context is lacking on these. So sometimes you really don't know what made the teacher go off like this. Like you really don't know. But I will say three things for all my teachers, especially y'all newbies out there, like finishing up your first year. And this is like the hard time because classroom protocols start lacking a little bit because school is about to be out and the kids start sniffing that warm air and stuff starts happening in the classroom and outside. So I say three things. Number one, make sure you're running the class the same way you were running it in January, February. It might feel like you want to let up, like, go ahead and make it loosey goosey. Don't. Go the other way. Keep running the classroom the same. Make sure they are still learning. Don't start showing movies. Don't do it. I know it's tempting because it's not a lot of work to do. Don't do it. Because the more you do that, the more the kids start feeling school is in fact over. And then classroom problems start happening in your room. So one, keep running your classroom the same. Two, testing quizzes are your friend. Don't go overboard with them. We're not talking about a quiz or so a day. But let them know, like, on Fridays, there may be a quiz on the stuff that you're doing. Nothing heavyweight. It's not like we're doing standardized testing here. But, like about a 10-question quiz will kind of keep them on their toes. And they're like, we're actually learning. Do that. And then the third thing, the power struggle. The power struggle will end up being real for y'all during this end of the year. Because these kids will be like, okay, you're not about to be my teacher no more. I'm going to go ahead and tell you this stuff that I want to tell you, yada, yada, yada. Now, I'm talking from experience my first couple of years because I go back and forth with a kid quick. You said this to me, I got to say this to you. I got to get the last word. Look, there's power in not necessarily having that last word. Don't feed into the power struggle. Kids love to argue with adults. It makes them feel like adults. Like it really does. Like you can kind of see the joy in the kid's face when they start going back and forth with you. Don't do it. You're the adult. Just simply act like it. You don't have to feed into every single argument. A kid going back and forth with you, just stop talking to them. Let them talk to themselves. As long as they're not saying something absolutely crazy, just be like, okay, you got it. And if they do, send them on a little trip to another classroom. Just let them kind of chill out for a little bit. Under no circumstance are you yelling with a kid or at a kid. Because in the end, you lose. You can never win once you start yelling at a kid. Because you don't look like a person that has control. You look like you lost control. In every single instance that I yelled at somebody, and it wasn't a sporting event, I had lost control of my emotions. I can honestly say that. So, for the past, 8, 9 years, I don't even raise my voice in the classroom because it's really unnecessary. You being the teacher is enough authority. You don't have to flex that authority by yelling at kids. And that gives you more authority because they know you're treating them with respect. So, you may want to lose your sugar honey iced tea. Don't do it. All right? And if all else fails, view some of these classroom crash out videos of these teachers. And you can see where they went wrong every single time. They're excellent teaching tools. I think that's why I still watch them. Because I look at them and go like, see, little man had already sat down and got quiet. You got what you wanted. Why are you still talking to the kid? You asked him to sit down. He got mouthy and he sat down. But he sat down. Conversation over with. That's it. He did what you wanted. You don't even have to go back and forth with him anymore. Don't add fuel to the fire. Just keep doing your thing. So on the algorithm, I also saw something pop up, and it said commercials that aged poorly in the 80s and 90s. My dumb self clicked on this. Don't click on that on YouTube, y'all. Don't click on it. It's not good. I mean, these commercials aged badly. And when I say bad, the first commercial is a commercial of an airline. True story. It's like an airline commercial, and the plane is flying between the Twin Towers in New York City. And this was like 2000. No, 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 my fault. 80s and 90s. This was like 93. It was somewhere in the 90s. And I'm looking like, that really happened? And it was just eerie to watch. I'm like, ew. Now, some of these are just, they're pretty funny. There's a commercial from Blockbusters talking about how they're better than Netflix. That aged poorly. But then after that, there's a commercial where this company is like using the R word, the RE word, just as loose as possible. So mixed in between the funny things are just things that are just so cringy you don't want to see it. I mean, there's like an R. Kelly commercial telling you to buy his next album. I don't know if I found that funny or not. It's kind of sad, I suppose. Either way, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Don't click on it. All right. This is me telling you I did dirty work for you, so you don't have to. See, I'm here for you. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. And thanks for listening to my podcast, because we're about to go ahead and wrap this up. Definitely appreciate you sticking and staying. I know this went a little bit longer than what I'm used to, but that's because I haven't been on the mic for a little bit. So definitely hope you enjoyed it. We're going to go ahead and cue up the music and roll out. So until next week, y'all. I'm saying until next week. I'm going to hold myself to that. Life is good.